Harappan script, there is also this thing called Frawley's paradox.
Yes.
Right? In which I think David Frolley first pointed out that the Vedas are literature without archaeology, and the Harappans are archaeology without literature.
Yes.
So.
Yes, of course. I don't think he was the first. I mean, to my knowledge, he was original with the idea. He didn't take it from anyone. Nevertheless, this objection has been formulated earlier by the great historian R.C. Majumdar.
Oh, R.C. Majumdar
himself.
Yes. Okay.
And anyway, I mean, once you start familiarizing yourself with this problem, you ought to notice that this is bizarre. That you see these, literary developments and archaeological developments are totally divorced. And so I think that's a very valid argument. You see, the Vedic culture should have some archaeological, presence. The Harappan culture, apart from leaving behind many cities that have been dug up, of course also did have a literature. We know it was literate. We have the script, only we haven't deciphered it. And whether the one literature has anything to do with the other, that is, of course, the question. If you know anything about Harappan literature, is it the same as Vedic literature or not? And so that's really the question that we are asking. Now, in terms of archaeological reality of Vedic civilization, according to the late B. Bilal, there is plenty. And so he says, you see, many things that we find in Harappan cities are Vedic. And for example, he argues that some fireplaces we find are Vedic altars, and clearly distinct from cooking fires. And you see, in some sites you have both, so you can easily see the difference, you can see what is what. And that's what he argues. I mean, I'm not an archaeologist, no authority here, but I quote what he says. He, of course, shows many things that still exist today, like sindur in the parting of a married woman's hair, like greeting namaste and so on. Now, against that, of course, you can say, well, maybe the, Vedic Aryans, when they came in, they didn't just kill everyone. No, you see, they lived somewhat together, and they assimilated and so on. And so they took over some habits like namaste. That's possible. But so, he finds many things, and so especially the depictions. I mean, he shows that many, pictures that we see actually depict Vedic themes. Some Vedic myths and so on are there. Also, that's one of the most spectacular things that in his material. Some of the fables, some of the stories from the Panchatantra are depicted. And so that clearly shows continuity. Again, here, from the other side, you might think of scenarios that would explain how the Vedic people took over elements from the Harappans and so on. You could say that's not proof, it's a strong indication.
Yeah. So
then you have, things like horses. And that's much debated. People say, yeah, but you see, Harappa had no horses. There are a number of finds of horses in the Harappan cities. Here, again, you see, this is something I haven't studied, but I've participated in a few archaeologist conferences where most Indian archaeologists don't believe in the Aryan invasion, even though they have their own career reasons and so on, to not go too public with this. They do see a certain amount of evidence for the Vedic presence in the Harappan cities. Long story. So about horses, they insist that a few horses have been found, bones of horses have been found, even in the south, that is to say the Gujarat coast, even there, because from the Vedas we know that Vedas are hardly indigenous because they are being bought from Afghanistan, from the Kamboja people. Mm-hmm. And so for horses, Central Asia is the right kind of climate, whereas India is not at all. So in India, like in Indian history, in the wars in the Middle Ages when the Turks invade, so they bring fresh horses from Central Asia. You see, the Indian horses have an ancestry going back to Central Asia, but for generations already they've been in this completely tiring climate of India, and so the other horses are much better. So, you know, they buy horses from Central Asia. Admittedly, you see, horses are not natural to India. Nevertheless, horses were very much present in India.
Yeah. So, but the other argument I have heard is that the horse bones appear only at the later Harappan stages and not in the earlier ones.
Yeah, well,
I mean, and they are very sparse. But the other part is that, I mean, given the importance of the horse to the Vedic literature, unlike somewhere like Sintashta or the Central Asian cultures, you don't find elaborate horse burials or burials involving horses and so on in India. I mean,
you don't find elaborate human beings being buried. You know, this stuff like in Egypt, you know, where all buildings, you know,
are dedicated
the grave of the pharaoh. Nothing like that in India.
Nothing like that. But we do have some burials in Mohenjo-daro.
Yes, yes,
you know,
true.
Rakhi Gadi, which has been. But the material seems to be very sparse in terms of biological material. Could they have had cremation that early?
Well, that's what I've been thinking from the beginning.
Yeah.
So that leaves few traces, of course. Yes.
Unfortunately, yeah.